Welcome back to On the Slab, the horror show we bring you each and every Friday. Dynamite, why do we bring it every Friday?
Because Friday night is
Horror
horror night.
night!
Yeah, yeah. I have one of them somewhere. I think
The
G-Man has it for me somewhere. So
only reason I have it, man, is he came over to the house a few weeks ago. Because I pressured him and pressured him. I was like, here, come on, you're doing nothing. Come over to me, bring it over, have a cup of tea. So that was the first time I met him in nearly, what, 2 years that I'd never met him.
yeah,
So that was
yeah.
cool, like, you know. But yeah, shout out to the G Man for the old merch, you know.
And
I
also, thank you from me to you for that lovely little tribute at the start of the show on
anytime,
behalf of
man.
my family.
Absolutely, a little angel, absolutely little
Yeah,
angel. Um, yeah. Anyway, as you can see, we're in the festive spirit, and I don't think we're not no, no, we're not going to talk about any particular horror film today. We're going to go a bit. We're going to talk about
get
toys.
into the festive mood though. In fairness, like for all
Y-
those big kids like us that
Yeah,
want
and they might
like
want,
those
yeah,
Santy presents.
they might want to look for Christmas presents, as you were saying, gift ideas, whatever. So you never know. Any horror fans out there will be more than aware of NECA, the toy line that's been going for years now. I think it's about 20 odd years, isn't it?
It's probably our favorite toy line,
Oh,
and I
it's,
think
yeah,
anyone that knows us knows how big a collector we are.
yeah,
And I think this was your kind of little brainwave today, which I had to be a part of, obviously.
absolutely.
Um,
I couldn't have done it without you. Now, in fairness, I would.
yeah.
Could you imagine if I done this and you saw her up on the, you'd be like, hey, what the fuck? If it wouldn't fly in the slab offices, like, so. I
No,
think
no, no, no.
so
You
we're
might be on the slab.
I might, yeah, exactly. There's a lot of meat there for Christmas, isn't there? Anyway, look, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about figures that we actually own, and just some of our favorites of from the NECA line, and then we're going to have a little chat about figures that maybe we would like down the line as well, you know.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm going to just start off with ones that I have. The first one I'm going to show you, Ian, is it's a Jason from I think it's Friday the 13th Part 6. Now that's an
Nice.
awesome figure. Now, and
Yeah, I know that
like
one.
you will see the picture of the figure up there, but you take it off, and I think that's the best face, the Jason face from the figures. Now there's loads of Jason NECA figures, you know what I mean? But that for me is one of my favorite ones. It's got a few little bits and pieces. It has a big like a spike, and it has a grave stone headstone.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, that's to me now. That's a nice. It's more probably I'm always the kind of guy. I don't need loads of. Well, it's only one character I'd have loads of figures of, and that's Leatherface, obviously.
Mm.
Um, but that particular
Well, I've seen them all in person. Yeah,
yeah. So, um, but that particular Jason is. I just think it's a really strong, um, representation of the character, and I've taken many a good photograph with that figure as well, and it's won me a couple of not competitions, but like rounds in competitions over the
well,
years.
there's a cheap plug for your Instagram page. Why
Oh
don't you?
yeah, KingWoe's figure snaps. Woo!
Yeah,
That's the
pretty
tag.
cool.
I'll
Check it out.
yeah,
At KingWoe's figure snaps on Instagram. It's actually really cool. He has nice little backdrops and settings.
I
He'll
need to get
have
back
like
into that though.
Spider Man, it's Jason, or
Yeah. Oh
it's
no,
really
Batman
cool.
against Dracula. I like that one. Or
There's a comic of that. Just
there
as well.
is, there is.
Yeah,
But yeah, that's a really strong opener. I feel. Um, it's
it's
it.
actually one of my favorite movies too of that series of that
Yeah,
whole
there's not
genre.
a lot of good ones to choose from that line, unfortunately. But
Yeah.
it is what it is, you know. Hit me with one of yours, buddy.
I'm gonna, I'm gonna start off with something kind of obscure and kind of rare.
Go on.
Um, Shout out to Uncanny Collectibles, Irish toy
Yes,
company as well, which is where these all came from last year.
very cool.
Anyone that knows me knows I'm a big Reanimator fan.
Yeah,
So NECA do this as well, where they have them in the kind of old school packaging. If you look at the back, there's a nice little. It's done in kind of VHS format.
Really.
Um, where we have and even get the old shout out to the HP Lovecraft classic tale of horror reanimator. It's I think it's really cool. You get the little, you can see here, you get the little head in the basin and everything.
I love that. That's
Yeah,
cool.
it's really cool. It's a really cool figure. Um, I'm a big Reanimator fan anyway, as you know. I
Yeah,
think it's one of I think it's one of the best kind of zombie movies. There's comedic elements to it.
yeah, I love
Um,
that.
when I saw this figure, like I was like, wow. I was like, it's it features a bottle of reagent, which is the little
Just yeah.
green stuff. The syringe, blood shovel, removable lab coat. Rufus the cat is in here as well. Medical tray and the head of Doctor Hill, of course.
Yeah, they went all out
Um,
with with that particular line. Was it what was that line? Was it a retro line or something? Was it no or
it was, yeah, because obviously this is Herbert West, and obviously Dan
yeah,
Kane, the guy who meets Herbert West. So Herbert West is definitely one of the great kind of characters, I think, of the '80s horror genre.
yeah.
And it's nice to have that.
Oh,
It's really
absolutely.
cool. So
Now, funny you should talk about that particular line because I only before we came on camera, I remembered I had one from that line myself, and that was the pretty lady Leatherface, which is
which is a pretty rare one as
oh
well, isn't it?
yeah.
Yeah.
Arlene, I remember Arlene rocked up to me one day and said, "Here you go. Here's a and it was in the same kind of packaging as the other one."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, man, that's fucking deadly!" Because at the time I didn't have a figure of Leatherface in that style. So yeah, they're cool. Sometimes though, for me now, I think maybe in hindsight, having the cloth ones unboxed is not as good as having them boxed. In fairness,
Well, all right. Well, let's have a little bit of a nostalgia. Like we're because we're all about that. Um, Christmas time, for you and me, if people are watching this for the first time, going, why have they got a lot of figures? I think you and me both come from a generation where action figures were literally the be all and end all
yeah,
of our childhood. To be fair,
absolutely.
and I think that's really what it boils down to. And I think we've managed to go and bring that into our adult life as well, which I
Mm,
think is really cool because like what you've seen now with NECA, what they've done. I mean, the work they've done. Like anyone that knows me knows I'm a big Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles fan.
yeah,
And the line that they have there, they're just bringing out absolutely everything.
just churning
And
them out.
and the thing about it is, I always said, I don't know for you, Carl, but I remember like when me and Rachel, my missus, were very early on in a relationship. We were walking by Smiths and we were like, let's go in and buy some toys for the crack. And it was just so spontaneous because it was one of those situations where it was like, do you remember when your parents told you, for your birthday or for Christmas, or
Yeah,
you were like, one day I'm gonna have my own money and I could just go and buy my own shit. And that's I think what happened with both of us, isn't it?
and now we're at that point. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. I think it's
I would
great
love to
though.
hear some comments below. Actually, in the comment section, let us know how your figure itch started because
Yeah,
it's such big business now at the moment, and it's quite accepted now that a lot of wrestling fans buy their
yeah.
wrestling toys and stuff like that. I think you and me are actually um quite unique in that sense that we literally like to collect from many different genres,
Yeah,
but I think NECA seems to be our go-to though.
that's our go-to. And funny enough, in the last 6 months or so, I've decided to kind of not collect anything else except horror stuff now.
Yeah.
It's just I've gotten too much, and I don't have the space for anything really anymore. So all I kind of get now is, like I said, is horror figures. But I'll show you another one of my ones. Hang on.
Yeah.
Um, this
Who's
is
next?
actually this is actually it's not a retro figure, but it's in a cloth thing, and it has to be, and that's Ghostface. Now
Nice.
that
Yeah, yeah.
figure is cool. That's an awesome figure, and I wouldn't necessarily be in it. I love Scream, as you know, but I wouldn't have said it like it's one of my favorite figures. But I just love that figure. It
I think
comes
it's an
with
awesome figure.
like three different heads, three different masks, like one bloody, one green, one kind of zombified, look one. I don't know what.
From
Yeah,
the movie Ghost. What was it? Not Ghostface. What's the name of the goddamn movie in there?
stab.
Yeah, within the movie.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
and it comes with a fucking a scythe as well. It's like the you'll see on the graphic there what it comes with. It's just brilliant, And I
Yeah.
mean that can be anybody, as you know, underneath the hood, like so. But
No, I
yeah,
think
like,
it's an awesome,
and
awesome figure.
I took some deadly photos with that. Over to Batman always gets put up against these kind of boys.
He's on the list as well. Actually, he's
Ah,
on the list.
I tell you. You got another one to show me?
I do. I do. I have. I'll show you this one first. So everyone knows what they're.
Oh, and I think that's what I this would have been on my list, but I knew you were gonna have it, so it's kind of on our both of our lists.
It's. But I mean, like first and foremost, like the fact that they've kept the packaging close to the original poster is what
Yeah,
I absolutely love.
amazing.
And if you look at the side here, it's amazing the way they have it done.
Yeah.
Just the packaging is absolutely amazing. But they have it like uh, almost VHS. So yeah, as you can see here,
Oh, the black and white one.
version.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
yes.
what I have as well.
So yeah, I went for the black and white version. Now there is a color version of that,
Mm,
as Carol, you could probably tell people.
yeah,
But one of the great things about this figure is the little, like they put everything, the hands in there, they
yeah.
put the handcuffs. It's just
Li-
it's absolutely beautiful, beautiful packaging. Um, like they really know how to accommodate old school fans, don't
Oh,
they? And it's
absolutely.
and the thing about NECA is they don't make a shitload of them initially, don't they? Not like they'll
No,
choose a certain line
yeah.
and they'll make maybe 10,000 or something
Well,
like that,
whatever. Yeah, they'll make a limited
and
run,
then
and then if you're lucky, if you'll get a second run or third run or whatever, But
yeah,
that
yeah.
that figure is beautiful. It's a beautiful figure, and there's no way I would have kept that in the
And
box.
you have
That's
him out of the box there, don't you,
Oh,
somewhere?
absolutely. He's up there, but
Yeah,
he's absolutely beautiful figure.
yeah,
And you get three. I think what was it? Three different heads with him, or two or three
yeah.
different heads, and
Three different heads and a
you
couple
get
of different hands.
the little flowers that he
The,
smells.
the flower, yeah.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
With the flower, you get the handcuffs, and you get
Yeah.
a couple of sets, and there's three different heads. So the head he comes with is the calm one. Then you
Mm.
get the smirky one when
I
he's
love
at
that
the
one.
when he's at the pepper, and then you get the real angry one then as
Yeah.
well. So
Some great
absolutely
looking.
beautiful figure.
Yeah. And I have to say, like for years, the quality in NECA was questionable, especially with their Predator line. Like you'd be
Yeah, they kind
afraid.
of churned them out just for willy nilly,
Yeah,
didn't they?
you'd be afraid to kind of move the joints and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But now they seem to have copped on a little bit better, and they've gotten a little bit better with what they have. So that's
And the good thing
something.
about this, by the way, not promoting any particular sites, but there is a lot of those cheap sites and those China sites that if anyone can't afford to go and you know buy
Yeah,
these, straight off the next site, there you can get like second line
yeah, and
versions of them.
they're some of them will be like seconds, like you said. Yeah,
Yeah,
like I have a Freddy Krueger there. That's one of his arms is wonky, but it's still a NECA figure. But
exactly.
it
They
was
are NECA figures. It's just that they're not. They're second line. That's
yeah,
basically.
exactly.
But I mean, if you're a collector and like you want to cheap out a little bit, which is understandable in this climate, not everybody can get like I think Carl and myself are pretty quick, and we're lucky to kind of know a few people within the Irish industry where you can get them
Yeah,
early on. But then
absolutely.
they tend to get very expensive then
Oh yeah,
when they're coming in when they're bringing in the second haul and the third haul.
yeah.
That's when you're kind of going, oh shit,
And
I gotta
here's the
really
gas
check
thing.
this
There's
out.
one that's gonna we'll talk about in actually now we'll talk about the one that's upcoming in a little while that I think both
Yeah,
me and you are extremely excited for. But
yeah, yeah.
um, but anyway, yeah, Frankenstein, absolutely beautiful figure. It is actually one of my favorites. But as I said, I didn't bring it up tonight because I knew you were gonna have that with us, so there was no point. Now the next one I'm gonna show you, I think before this came out. I always said to you for years I wanted a figure of this particular character, and when it came, before it came out, when I heard it was coming out, I nearly exploded, like, you know.
I know
Uh,
exactly what you're talking about.
I
Yeah.
bet you don't, because there's two or three of them on this list that are like that. I'll show you,
Okay.
right? Pennywise.
Yes, it the
You were
clown.
right
Yeah.
with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
The Tim Curry version. Now I do have the Skarsgård version as well, and I do like that Pennywise. But
I'm not
this
a
is
big fan
no. Well, I mean, it's a different take on the.
personally.
Yeah, it's different, you know. But this for me is just class. There's like I think you get three or four different heads with this one. You get all the balloons. But that face, see that face where he's just laughing. Oh, I love that
Yeah.
face.
Yeah. 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 It's
And then
absolutely
you
fantastic.
point the finger out, and but then like again, if you do go onto my Instagram and you'll see I have a deadly picture of him. I think you know the one I'm talking about, where he's just kind of looking down like that, and it's just his face and shoulders, and that's that figure, and it just looks class, you
Yeah.
know. But
Really good.
yeah, I mean, and the gas thing is like, look, like you had loads of different articulation for that, and not that he was like an action hero or anything, you know what I mean? But there's such a good range of movement on it. So
Yeah.
if
The
you if
articulation on the NECA figures is
yeah,
pretty good.
it's
Pretty
it's
good.
improved, as I said, over the years, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's another fantastic. When I saw these kind of figures coming out, I was like, nah, yeah, they know how to treat the old school horror fan, like you
Well, that's
said.
it. Like, and now I have a lot of like I've got all the turtles, pretty much all the turtles range.
Deadly.
I've got the Back to the Future range. Well, a couple of the Back to the
Yeah.
Future range in it. Um, but the next one is literally
Oh,
probably my favorite.
what a figure. Wowzers.
Again, the box, the packaging is just it's
Now, don't get
so
me
in
wrong.
tune.
I keep all the boxes. I don't throw them out. There's
Oh
so
no,
many of these boxes up my attic. It's unbelievable.
but this McCready figure, man, it'll actually show you each head that you have on the back,
Yeah,
and it has that metallic covering, which is
yeah.
really
It's a cool
kind of
looking. Makes it a little bit
like
more special or something, doesn't it?
yeah. So you get everything with it. You get the torch. You get the bottle of whiskey. Um, you get the shotgun. You get a couple of different hands. You get a glass for the whiskey with whiskey in it. You get McCready with the hood on and McCready with the hat on. So
That's
it's like
cool. I like that one.
it's a really 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 cool figure. Um,
How can you keep them
pretty,
in the boxes, man? Oh my God.
pretty rare as well though, because they made a couple of different ones, but they didn't release a lot of them.
Oh, you got that
I
early on,
know.
didn't you?
Yeah, well, yeah, I got
Like
it. Like I
literally when it came out.
pre-ordered it, yeah,
Yeah,
just to make sure. So it's the first in the line, which is it's really cool, and it's from the Outpost 31. So,
yeah,
um, yeah, like yeah, that's probably my favorite NECA figure that I own. To be
deadly.
fair,
That's awesome. It really is. And of course, they're bringing out the actual king itself,
yeah,
which is again we'll talk about that in the next section. But
mm-hmm.
um, I'm gonna show you two more figures.
Yeah,
This one is again from one of my favorite films, and I'm sure everyone who watches this show knows what one of my favorite films is. It's the Nazi demon from American Werewolf in London. When I heard they
it's
were
really
making
cool.
this, I was just like, what the hell? And because it's such a weird, obscure part of the film, but it looks so good. And what they do is they give you four heads with it. Like you'll see it on the graphic that I have up there. But what I did was I bought four of them. So now I
So
have
you
each,
can put the heads on
yeah,
each.
I have each head on display. Each like so, it's basically the same generic kind of body, but each has a different figure, or each has a different head and a different weapon, or whatever the case may be. Class figure, absolutely, and the detail on the looks of them is like they captured it perfectly. You know. Now, if you could give you a play set or a diorama set of the scene where like they had their, I don't know, if they had like some of the family members with their throats slit or whatever, like, that'd be mad. But that's kind of what I'd be looking for.
And what's really cool about that as well is like because I knew you were excited about the werewolf himself coming
Hmm.
out. But when they were coming out as well, I was like, shit, he's gonna
I know.
load. Like, yeah,
These figures actually make me happy. They really make me happy. And just to what you were saying, the big bad himself.
yeah. I
That is
mean,
my.
it is
Oh,
pretty awesome figure.
I waited I suppose most of my teenage life to hear about this coming out. This is my favorite NECA figure, hands down. It's bloody huge as well. It's a big figure. Look, that comes with two heads. Um, not an
The
awful
great
lot.
thing about NECA though is when they give you a big chunk of plastic like that, they don't overcharge you either. Though
No,
I
no,
think that's what's good about it. You know?
yeah. But to me now, because like if you remember the film, you don't overly get a full view of the werewolf fully. So that it's great to actually see it then like this. And but that is my favorite NECA figure right there, and I think it's amazing. And like I said, I've two of them. Two is enough. Yeah, a friend of mine's actually making a diorama for me for this.
Nice,
So shout
nice.
out to Tom. Can't wait to see it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, well, of course I'll post pictures up of it when it's done. But I think that's all of the figures we have to talk about of our own, isn't it?
Yeah, 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 100%.
What ones are coming out that we want that we're dying for?
Well, I can say straight off the bat, Bela Lugosi's Dracula.
That is gonna be fantastic. Oh, I can't wait for
That
that.
looks amazing. I've seen the color version. I've seen the black and white
Mm,
version as well.
yeah,
I think you'll have to get both.
I probably won't
Um,
be able to afford both this time, but I mean, I have, as you saw, Frankenstein, the Mummy. I have Wolf. I got the Wolfman the other day, and now we just have to wait for this.
the
Now
Mummy's on the list as well on the
ah,
Wolfman. Yeah,
yeah.
they're both. They're both.
I wonder will they bring out a creature from the Black Lagoon?
Well, if they do,
I'll be getting that.
if they do, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
There's so
But
like there's a couple that I don't have at the moment that have kind of thrown me off kilter a little bit.
yeah.
Um, well, yeah, as you know, like they had the Quint figure out, but then they pulled the line.
Why was
They
that?
had the Brody because apparently it was to do with production. Apparently the Brody figure was pulled completely,
Really? Was that
and
because it
that
was
was the,
was that his estate or something? Was it?
it was to do with his estate and stuff like that. And I was like, it was a
That's a
little bit
shame.
stupid. Like
Mm,
let people collect. You know what I mean?
exactly. It's not like they're trying
Uh,
to. It's not like they're doing his memory a disservice or anything. Like they're bringing out something that's really cool. I think
yeah. So, on like a mutual friend of ours, shout out to Kevin in Forbidden
Forbidden
Planet.
Planet.
He had said to me, yeah, we're gonna have to get the Quint back in. Like they are gonna be doing another line of them,
Mm,
but it's yeah, I really need to get them. And then you've seen the Bruce the Shark.
that's the one. It's huge. I
It's
can't wait for that.
monstrous,
I can't wait for that.
monstrous.
Yeah.
So
Also, there's a Krampus. Did you ever see the Krampus film? So
yeah,
they're bringing out a Krampus figure, and I think that's gonna look. It looks fantastic. The production pictures of it look fantastic. So
yeah,
that's another one I'm looking forward to. Um, one I'd love if they brought out the lads from the American Werewolf in London film themselves.
yeah,
Jack
100%.
and David.
Yeah, I'd love to. What about ones that? What about ones that have been created that you don't quite own that you'd like to get from the back catalog?
Um,
For
t-
me, I can say straight off the bat the original Predator.
oh, the
Um,
first one.
yeah, I really need to get. And the only good thing about it is they do bring out a lot of Predator ones, but I think sometimes people go in thinking they're buying Predator, but they're buying just a different variant of a
Yeah, a
Predator.
design or whatever. Yeah,
But the original one, yeah,
from the
in
film.
that plastic
Yeah,
packaging, yeah, yeah,
yeah. I mean, that's the thing about the Predator line now. There's so many of them. Um, I mean, my favorite Predator figure that I have now is the Alpha Predator, which is it's from it was the 50th figure, I think, anniversary that they made. So it wasn't even in a film or a comic or anything like that. So they made it in conjunction with, you know, the company. but it looks savage. It's like it's. Do you remember Jean-Claude Van Damme was meant to be the Predator initially?
Yeah,
And do you remember that kind of look, that kind of insectoid look?
yeah,
Well, they used the mask from that as this Predator's mask, and it's an absolutely cool looking Predator. But what else is there? I would love, now this isn't on the list, but I would love if NECA would sign up Art the Clown and get Art the Clown out there.
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I reckon that's only a matter of time, though.
yeah. Do you know who else would be another one? Now, it was brought out as a McFarlane figure years ago with the movie Maniacs. It was Hannibal Lecter.
I'm glad you just said McFarlane figures there because I just looked over and I grabbed a big bag from my mother's house
Oh yeah,
the other week, and I have the full set of these now, but they're very rare. I
oh
suppose you could call them horror. Do you want to see them?
yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
We're nerding tonight. That's what we're doing.
Yes. Now, you're gonna find these very cool.
Okay,
I'm gonna
I'm intrigued because you didn't tell me about this
I'm
beforehand.
gonna start with the spaceman,
Oh wow, savage.
the 1997 line, I think it was. Yeah,
Did you get
1997
did you get
line.
them when they came out? Did you?
No, I bought these all four of them from a guy on Dundee for $100.
Wow.
All four of them for $100, and I reckon they're worth a little bit
Oh
more than
yeah, there will be more than that. Yeah.
that. And of course, Star Child.
Yeah. Uh, Kerry being a element there.
Yeah, and as you can see, they have the little
The stage logo thing.
letters, so you can
Yeah.
put them all on. So again, they're in the boxes, but
Savage.
I don't know. It's very difficult to and it's really cool when you look at the back at the McFarlane line, like the
Yeah.
Spawn.
I was mad into McFarlane when I was with it, back in those days. And when I worked in Forbidden Planet, I just bought Spawn all the time. Most of my
Yeah.
wages went back into the tills,
Well,
Maybe that's
when
why
you're
Kevin
young
thought I
like
was
that,
such a good employee.
there you go. Shout out to Kevin. Yeah, get
Have
Carl back. Give him his money back. Come on.
you got the other two there before we go?
They're there somewhere. Yeah, they're buried
Ah, you
under
gotta
there
show me
somewhere.
again some other time. But
Yeah,
we could
Demon is
talk.
there, and
I mean, we could talk about toys for hours, couldn't we?
yeah, it's a passion though, man.
It
It's
is.
you know,
Well, we just thought
like
we thought we'd bring a little nice light episode to the show, talking about figures, and you can see how nostalgic me and Dynamo are about this kind of stuff. And we're probably going to go off camera now, and we're probably going to talk about this stuff for another hour or so. So, um, you know,
what we're given.
yeah, we're going to have some cool shows coming up in the next couple of weeks. We're probably, if people like this kind of stuff, we're gonna have a cool little mini series coming up again in the new year, and we'll tell you more about that. Coming up to it. So, but for now, Ian, I think we're good to go. Do you?
We're good to go. Yeah, I think we're
It's
good
been
to
it's
go.
been fantastic. With the OG again, with the Podfather himself. It's been an absolute great time. Let's try and keep it going.
Well, of course, yeah. Been a rough
Have
couple of weeks, but
Of course, of course. But
we're
sure,
back.
look, as for G-Man always gets to end these shows nowadays. You gotta fucking do it. You're the OG man. You gotta end it for us.
Well, all I would say in this holiday season, when you go to sleep and switch off the lights, do not turn. Oh shit, man! I lost it. I've lost it.
You've you
No,
know
I've
you,
got it. It's back. It's back. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. In this holiday season, when you turn out the lights, beware of the frights. When you hear the sound of dread, be sure not to look under the bed.
and stay scared. Woo! Adios.